It can't control the weather, but the government is in charge of the country's response to it. There have already been complaints that too many people were left without power for too long over Christmas. So today the government called its second emergency committee meeting, known as COBRA, in 2 days. Afterwards, the Environment Secretary insisted that despite cuts, the government was not neglecting flood defences.
And I would remind you that this government is spending more than all preceding governments on flood defences. That means that 165,000 properties will be protected by 2015.
As the minister headed off in the rain, we spoke to the head of the Environment Agency, who'd also been at the COBRA meeting. He's been quoted as saying cuts would impact the agency's ability to do its job. Was that right?
No, what I said was that along with other government departments, we are suffering reductions in funding. And what we're doing is actively managing how we deal with those reductions in funding.
And you're confident that, for instance, you'll still have the manpower and the funding to deal with the sort of problem we're seeing at the moment?
Absolutely. I'm convinced that going forward, and confident going forward, that we will be able to provide exactly the same sort of response to emergency as we're seeing now.
The Environment Agency is cutting around 1,500 jobs, bringing its workforce down to 9,700 by October. At the moment, about 300 of its staff are out on the ground responding to these floods. The government says it is spending £2.3 billion to protect against floods and coastal erosion, more than ever before. One union representing members at the Environment Agency wants any planned cuts halted.
The size of these cuts are unprecedented in terms of the agency's history, and what we're concerned about is the broad nature of those funding cuts means that all areas will be affected.
These satellite pictures show the storms that have come in from the Atlantic, and more are on the way. The country and the government must be ready.